Hey everyone, welcome to my first video for my new channel, PDPMO or PDPMO for short. I am your host, Richard, and over the next however long I'm able to do this for, I am going to be talking movies and movies I like, movies I don't like. For me, I've personally seen over 2,000 movies. I love them, all genres. I don't really have a favorite. I'll watch pretty much anything. My credentials, if you will. I worked at video stores. I've most notably I was at Rogers Video for 4 years. I love talking movies. I love giving my opinion, hearing other people's opinion, either who agree or they don't. I'm always open to listen. PDPMO, as you can probably ascertain, is an acronym. It came to me back in 2008 when I watched the movie I'm going to review today, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It stands for Please Don't Piss Me Off. So obviously you can tell what I thought of the movie. But for this, there are lots of different movie rating systems out there. There's the star rating, numbers out of 10, out of 100, rotten or fresh, thumbs up, thumbs down. This is just one more because a lot of times all I really want is for a studio to not piss me off. It can get more complicated, but for right now, it's as simple as that. So in 2008, I went to see this movie with my wife and another couple. By the end of it, when I walked out of the theater, you know that those little premiere magazines that they give you, pre-COVID, to read in the theater. I walked out and I balled mine up, and I threw it across the parking lot. Now, for those of you who are environmentally conscious, bless you, I did pick it up. But yeah, I was absolutely that mad. And a father was going into the theater with his two kids, and I asked him, "Are you going to see Indiana Jones?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Don't." I guess that was my first official movie review. I mean, I'm sure he went in anyway, because who's going to base whether or not they see a movie on a stranger's review? Oh, except me, trust me. Anyway, so a little bit about the movie. It's the fourth installment in the Indiana Jones trilogy. Now, for those of you who are about to jump over what I just said, a trilogy is three movies, and I said this is the fourth installment in the trilogy. Please know I know exactly what I said, and I meant it. This is the fourth movie in the Indiana Jones trilogy. The movie starts off badly. It's not one of those movies that I need to think on for like a couple of days. The movie like had me gone right from the start. I will say that to this day, I have never walked out of a theater, and I saw Anaconda in theaters. So But this movie, okay, so the movie opens and you've got a military convoy going down the road in the middle of the desert, and this group of teenagers pull up alongside the convoy, and they start trying to they get to the front truck and they start trying to goad the truck driver into going in for a little street race. And the truck driver's thinking about it. He's looking over and he's like, yeah, maybe I will, right? And then he looks over, and the guy sitting next to him, who's clearly his superior officer, is just glaring at him. And so the soldier like regains his composure and it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And the kids take off. So that's fine. Then this convoy turns into Hangar 51, which is clearly supposed to indicate Area 51. They break in to this military installation that is incomprehensibly undermanned. Like this could have been like a great action sequence, but they're just in there. And, like we meet Indiana Jones, and a lot of exposition happens here. Indy's getting older. The convoy is actually Russian or Soviet, it's 1957. We meet Indy's partner, Mac, who is so clearly going to turn out to be a bad guy or double agent that is laughable. It actually would have been I would have found it refreshing if he was more like a Sala character from Raiders and Crusade, just an actual decent human being. And it all involves they're looking over this thing, which we are basically told this is alien. And Indiana Jones has, you know, previously worked on this thing. That'll come in later with this ridiculous revelation scene that I'll touch on. But the thing that bothered me the most about this scene has already slipped by. And that is, we are supposed to believe that in 1957, Cold War, a Soviet soldier on a top secret mission inside the United States to infiltrate an American military institution is going to be distracted by a group of American teens. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand like willing suspension of disbelief. I get that. But there has to be a limit. I mean, this is a Soviet officer in 1957. So, and they're in the US. It's not like this is Russia and they just like grab these like teenagers or early kids in their early 20s and just been like, you're soldiers now. This would have been an elite soldier who's now in the United States. He, that that level of laziness in writing is insulting, in my personal opinion. So anyway, again, willing suspension of disbelief. I get it. I mean, look at Raiders of the Lost Ark. They had the Ark of the Covenant that literally like melted the faces off of Nazis and blew that one guy's head off, and all the Nazis are dying, and our heroes were spared because they kept their eyes closed. I mean, that's fine. Or Mola Ram in Temple of Doom, literally ripping that guy's heart out and then lowering him into lava while he was still alive without a heart. And we were just like, seems legit. I mean, it's the Thuggees. What are you going to do? We don't know. Then you get to what everyone jumps up and down on this movie for is the nuke the fridge incident. I get it. It was like, the jumping the shark of, it's become like a meme on its own. It's just the jumping the shark version for movies. But I actually didn't mind the nuke the fridge incident, and I'll tell you why. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, again, you shouldn't be watching this, but go watch the movie. But in the scene, Indiana Jones is in a nuclear test facility, and there's a nuke about to blow. He has no time to get out. And so what he does is he climbs inside a lead-lined fridge. So the lead is supposed to, protect him from the radiation. So the bomb detonates, and this fridge is sent flying. Like, this thing goes forever. Bounces on the ground, flips over a couple of times, finally comes to rest. He gets out, and he's standing there in front of this mushroom cloud. So, I mean, okay, now you're standing at, it's not like the radiation just goes away. Now you're standing there, you're being radiated, you should have died from the impact. But again, it's Indiana Jones, so, he's not gonna. But I read something online that I thought was very kind of cool. And that is, somebody came up with a theory that because Indiana Jones drank from the Grail in The Last Crusade, he wasn't granted eternal life because he left. But because he drank from the Grail, he's tougher to kill. He is able to survive more, which enabled him to survive the nuke blast. That's not bad, and if you go into that with that mentality, the nuke the fridge scene isn't that bad. There are other things beside the nuke the fridge, like I'm going to get into them, that are way more egregious, but I can get by the nuke the fridge thing. Now, The whole movie isn't bad. There are some fun scenes in it. I mean, there are things we expect when we go to see an Indiana Jones movie. Punches that sound like gunshots, like they just do. A zippy dialogue between the action sequences, during the action sequences, the Wilhelm scream, like it's all there, it crosses off all the boxes, like ticky boxes. We get them. I mean, ordered, delivered. It's there. We eat it up. But for me, I lost faith in the movie. Like I was hanging on. I was really hanging on. I was trying to get through there, and this was the scene where I nearly walked out on. And okay, Shia LaBeouf, the beef. Um, he's a talented actor. I've seen him do some great. I loved him in Fury, another great movie. I loved him in Lawless. He and Tom Hardy were great in that movie. So he has the ability to act well. But this movie, his entire character just felt shoehorned in. It was like the movie makers were like, hey, and you know, I love Steven Spielberg, but a big chunk of this falls on his shoulders. Is like, hey kids, Indiana Jones is getting older, but here's possibly a young Indiana Jones, so now you should care. That's not the way it works. Like, you can't just make us like this character. The character has to be likable, and the character Mutt, like his name's Mutt for one, we don't like him. I didn't like him. So they're fighting with the Russians. Like the Russians are cutting through the Amazon jungle. Our heroes are, fighting to get the crystal skull. And anyway, the beef, I call him the beef, ends up on top of the one of the vehicles, and he's fighting the Russians. And they hit a vine. And the vine, like he's like this on the vine, and the vine immediately retracts into the canopy because, as anybody who has hit a vine in the Amazon knows, the first thing it does is pull you up into the trees. So that happens, and the convoy takes off without him. So, I mean, okay, he's been left behind. What's he going to do? And then he comes face to face with a monkey. And, I mean, the monkey's kind of cute. Like, it's a cute little scene. And the monkey shoots him this look like, hey, I don't think you're supposed to be up here. So, I kind of chuckle. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, these other monkeys come up. There's like dozens of monkeys now. And I'm like, oh my God, is he going to have to fight these monkeys? Like one monkey is cute, but like dozens of monkeys? This is dangerous. But no, the script writers, and there were 6 of them, like that's a problem. But George Lucas was one of them. I'm just going to jump off topic here. I think George Lucas might have lost his mind. I'm glad they got him away from the Star Wars franchise. They need him to get away from the Indiana Jones series. I don't know if he's responsible for this, but yikes. So anyway, there's 6 script writers, and one of them, or maybe more than one of them, decided that what they were going to do is they were going to have some sort of telepathic or psychic connection, and the monkeys were going to explain to him that what he could do is Tarzan swing through the Amazon to catch up to the Russians, who have this thing that literally tears down the jungle. But again, if you've been to the Amazon, you've been hit by a vine, pulled up into the tree, you know the fastest way through the Amazon jungle is to Tarzan swing your way through. And that is exactly what happens. So not only do the monkeys communicate with this with the beef somehow, but then the beef starts taking off, and he starts swinging, and the monkeys, for some reason, come with him, because I don't know if the beef can speak monkey or they just realize what's going on. That's not explained. It shouldn't be explained because this scene should never be in the movie. But anyway, they start flying through the jungle, literally, and they catch up to the Russians. And so the beef ends up like jumping in and fighting, and then the monkeys only attack the Russians. Like the monkeys can tell the difference between our heroes and the Russians. So now the monkeys attack the Russians, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm out. But I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. So, I mean, that scene was just ridiculous. The performances, again, like, you look at Karen Allen, the lovely Karen Allen, plays Marion, a nice homage, like, original Raiders, like great, one of my favorite characters, a strong female character, which I love. But again, in this movie, she just felt out of place. It's not that her performance was awful. And I'm not saying she can't act. I mean, I loved her in Starman. I loved her in Scrooged. Scrooged, great Christmas movie. Check it out. It's a good movie for Christmas season coming up. So she's got the chops. She can do it. Again, I don't know if it was just the my problem with the movie that made me not like the performance, but I just I didn't get it. And I mean, it was a nice way to find out what happened to her between, say, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade. And I know some people are going to be like, Temple of Doom, but Temple of Doom is actually a prequel, so it takes place, before Raiders. Look it up. A lot of people don't know that. But anyway, so then Kate Blanchett. I love Kate Blanchett. Miss Blanchett, whom I call you Kate. If you any movie that she's in, she makes better. If you're out there and you're making a movie, try to get Kate Blanchett. She will make your movie better. But it's almost like in this movie, she saw what was happening around her. She's done enough great movies to know that this is not one of them. So it's like she single-handedly tried to save the movie by going so over the top. But because she was so over the top and the movie didn't even hit the middle, it was too much. Like it just felt out of place compared to the rest of the movie, which is just mediocre at best. And so, we get to the finale and Indiana Jones like holds up this like skull to this glorified cave painting. Like, what? Alien? It's like, yeah, you worked on the project. You're a scholar. You're supposed to know this. We knew it from the beginning. Anyway, sorry. It's the MacGuffin that just didn't need to be. Like, it was so obvious and he should have known. Anyway, so they get to the end and there's, a room full of aliens. They all have skulls, and one's missing. They have the missing skull. So what are you gonna do? And Kate Blanchett says like she wants to know everything. So they place the skull on top of this last alien, and then all the aliens start spinning around, and they form into one alien because now it's like that one alien has made its appearance. And so I'm like, here we go, and the alien just kind of leans in and then makes a mean face. Doesn't say anything, like not even in alien language, just like, And then Kate Blanchett, basically her head explodes because, knowing everything is too much for the human brain. And then the alien ship starts to take off. So our heroes have to run. They get out, and this UFO emerges from underneath the Amazon and then takes off. And then the surrounding water floods into the hole that the UFO has left behind. And my honest to God thought as I'm watching a UFO leave is, man, that's going to mess up the ecology. Yep, I don't care that our heroes are safe. I don't care that the bad guys lost. I don't care that aliens have been proved to be real. I don't care that I just watched a UFO leave. I am more focused on a localized flood in a singular section of the Amazon than anything else to happen in this movie. So, that's the climax of the movie, and then the denouement or the epilogue to the film is Marion and Indiana Jones get married because, reasons. The beef gets like this like prepackaged daddy issue laden family. I mean, I don't know where they're planning on taking the story. I'm not even sure I want to know. I know they're making a fifth one, but I mean, like I said, I used to get hyped for movies, but because of my experience with Crystal Skull, I now go in with no expectations. I don't expect it to be good. I don't expect it to be bad. I just don't piss me off. That's my only rule now. So yeah, there you have it. That's the first review of this channel, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You can see why I had to have it be my first one, because it really did alter the way I look at movies. But thank you for stopping by. I'm looking forward to hearing some comments. I mean, not everybody is going to agree, obviously. That's the joy of subjectivity, and that's the joy of the arts. Some people hits differently, right? Like this movie, somebody could come up with this is my favorite movie of all time. If that's the case, I don't really have much to say. But yeah, I encourage comments. Please, comment movie suggestions. I'll try to get to all of them. I was actually going to be doing one of these a week, but I've received a lot of like requests for stuff to review before even today. So I'm gonna probably release more than one a week just until I can get my numbers up, and then we'll see how it goes. One big rule on the comments is I know there are a lot of trolls out there, and we're not going to agree. Not only are the people who comment going to agree or disagree with me, but there's going to be comments, between you guys. Keep it civilized. Attack if you want to attack the opinion, that's fine, but let's not attack the person. They're entitled to their opinion, whether you agree with it or not. And this channel is about the joy of movies and the joy it brings us all. There's enough hatred and animosity in the world already. I don't want this channel to add to that. This is, I'm an artistic person. I love artistic people. I love opinionated people. So this is just a chance for us to get together and talk about the things we love and the things we hate, because there are some out there that just aren't very good. So yeah, thank you, everybody who's watching. Thank you for people who are commenting. Please, I would like this channel to become a success. So click click subscribe, and I will keep hitting these out, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And at the end of the day, when you go see a movie, just remember, please don't piss me off. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.